That's not good. Hello and welcome back to the boat shed. My name is John and this old boat is Antidote. In today's video we are removing some old gear at the bow of the boat as well as the hatch and trim for the anchor locker as we continue to remove this rotten core from the bow of this boat. Let's go get to work. Welcome back aboard the anchor locker on Antidote. We're forward here and off to my side you can see the holding tank for the forward head. And this is the first bulkhead. This first bulkhead has a bit of damage that we're going to be taking a look at. Also the deck, we had a double layer of plywood forward, and I think it might change to a single layer of balsa just after this bulkhead. Hang on for that. Not sure yet, but I want to start exposing that. And then the double layer thickness will be the first place that I replace. Fortunately, this first hatch is sort of in the way. It intersects that point, so we might need to remove that. So anyway, I want to clean up a lot of stuff in here. Let's get to work. So we're gonna have a mountain of zip ties when this is all done. There's a nice creative splice too. There's a bunch of stuff to remove up here, an old washdown pump, some hooks and brackets and things, and then of course all the wiring for the windlass has got to come out. Now if you're doing this, you want to make sure the battery cables are not live. I have all my batteries removed so I know this is safe to work on. Alright, that's got all everything out of the inside except for those two screws. You guys ever heard the joke about mechanics having toolboxes full of shiny hammers? Well, there you go. So I think the water from the deck, this must be open to that, and the water's been leaking down that wet plywood that we saw, and I think it's been leaking down this whole plywood bulkhead. What a shame. Oh well. I'd like to start making my way back about to the middle of these two hatches. This first bulkhead is right behind the staysail mounting point. The next bulkhead is pretty much right here after this hatch, and then we go into the forward head. I have a suspicion that we're going to change from plywood to balsa in this area somewhere, so we'll see if we can confirm that. I think I see some balsa peeking through that hole over there. Yeah, so let's get this hatch taken off. Looks like it's all held down with Phillips head. I assume these are old screws and not bolts. Yep. So that's maybe 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch screw. These should come out pretty easily. Screw heads look good. That might be an encouraging sign. And the threads too down low look good. There doesn't appear to be rust in there. We will see. That's not good. Started to strip out that screw. Of course, it's the last one. Okay, well, stripping out the head of this last screw, which is a Phillips number 3, not a number 2, is probably a really good time to talk about fasteners and reusing fasteners and using the proper heads for fasteners. This is the bit that I was using. This is a Phillips number 2. Okay, that's sort of the standard bit. And here it is next to a number 3. That'll be showing on your right. Using the wrong driver can very quickly damage a screw head. And then often what happens is that they get damaged on the way out, but you're able to get them all the way out, and then the temptation is to put them back in. And that's almost always a mistake, because then when you go to take it out another time, now you're really in trouble. I've damaged this screw head, so now I need to pay for my mistake. I'm going to try to get it out, and then I will have to replace it. Let's see if this works. All right, So you might be able to tell the difference here between the thread that is decent and good versus the one that I just hammered on and stripped out. These are the same thread to start with. So it's always important to use the right bit. Thankfully, changing over to the right bit, I was able to get the screw out. Now, okay, so those like hook on this style of hinge. So there you go. And now just the trim ring remains on. Now I have plans to replace all these hatches, so I'm not super concerned about keeping this in the greatest of shape. Maybe not an exhaustive effort here, but I couldn't get any tools underneath this trim ring, so attempt 1, fail. Here I'm giving another shot with the marine DeBond, getting this prepped for that. Some of you recommended in the last video to try to use a thin gauge wire to pull through, and I think it's a great idea, and I'll certainly give it a try on the next round. I've had the marine DeBond sitting around the perimeter for a little less than 24 hours now. So let's take a look and see how it's doing. The first time I couldn't get any tools to grab on that at all. Let's see now if I can get anything in there. Oh, there we go. I think it softened it somewhat, not to the point where I can just take it right off. All right, there we go. That's got it off. That's just from touching the back side without a gloved hand. And it's rubbed off, so I think that indicates that it's been breaking down the material. Still working in the anchor locker, and we see this teak ring here around the hatch opening. This is a nice aesthetic touch for most of the boat, but I think it's a little overkill for the anchor locker. We're going to remove this. It even protrudes slightly into the volume of the opening, so that by removing it, I'll actually have more clearance to bring sailbags in and out, which will be nice. I'll try to take it off somewhat carefully so I can get a sense of how these are installed on the boat, and then going forward, hopefully they'll just get easier and easier to remove. Got it. So it looks like that trim was just keeping the bottom skin and the hatch opening. There's kind of like a little trim piece for that, but there's no actual wrap here. So this is a perfect potential for water to get in there. So I bet as water was dripping down this, it would sit on that wood, it would sneak its way in. That's why there's probably a generous amount of sealant on there. You know, nothing's gonna beat having that actually wrapped. So when we go to put this back in, that's what we'll do, keep water out. Well, I'd like to continue cutting back, exposing more deck. Before I move back any further, I want to taper this edge out to match what's going on there, so that's all ready to go. Ready to take a new bite out of the deck here. I believe that I'm seeing balsa right here, so we're going to cut along here. There's bulkheads here, and I think the double layer section changes from there to here somewhere. So let's open this up and see if we can confirm that. Okay, let's see what we've got here. A little harder to peel up than the other sections. That could be indicating there's a difference here. So there you go, we were right. It changes from plywood to balsa. You can actually see the exact spot. Plywood, plywood, balsa. And this balsa is just mushy, soft. Let's get some here. It's just mush. So there you go. Now, interestingly, some of it, like back over here, it's still in good shape. Well, I mean, oh no, that's wet too. Look at that. It's actually wet. Wow. So even areas that look like they're dry, like over here, and this was actually bonded pretty well, it's actually just soaking wet. It gets saturated. Totally saturated. My goal right now is going to be to remove this core, this old balsa, some of which is still, well, all of it is wet. It's gone. It's squishy. Some of it's completely rotten. Up here we're basically totally rotten, and then in other areas it's actually structurally still pretty good. It's surprising. The glass is actually still stuck to the balsa here, even though I'm finding water underneath it. It's really pretty incredible. So this might be a lot of work to get out. We'll have to see how it goes. It is what it is. Well, a couple interesting things here. The balsa was surprisingly difficult to get out compared to the plywood. And you can see this area here where I had sort of that driest patch has gotten soft because I've removed one layer of mat. So I'm gonna have to sort of grind this down a bit and repair in here before I lay the new glass down. And maybe I'll even just try to slide one more sheet in here. Well, off to the starboard side now, and things here progressed much as they did on the port side. So the skin comes off rather difficult, with the balsa still adhering very well despite its water saturation. And then it's off with the hammer drill to remove all the material. A couple of slow motion shots for your enjoyment here, and in this one you can actually see the water bubbling out as I attack it with the chisel. All the balsa has been removed from both sides of this first hatch now. Removing the balsa was harder than I expected it to be. I was anticipating balsa to be the favorable material for removing, and I think if it is totally, completely saturated and rotten, maybe yes it is, but the plywood was honestly easier to remove because it came out in sections, and the balsa that was like under the lip here was very difficult. I had to really go for it. I didn't put all that on camera. Maybe we'll do more. I've got a lot of opportunity to show you more as we progress down the boat, so don't worry about that. This side suffered a bit more damage as I was going. I found the best way to do it was that if there was glass stuck to the balsa on top, to break it up as much as possible, even try to chip it off first so that the little blocks of balsa could break off cleanly and easily. That did less damage on this side. I haven't fully prepped this side yet, but it looks a lot better. So I feel comfortable now to try and remove this centerpiece, which could be interesting. So this window has already been taken off. Let's see what happens. You never know until you try. So there you have it. More plywood. Cool. There's more, just look at that. Just plywood that just doesn't stick together at all anymore. This is what I was saying though about it almost being better. It's so easy to take this apart. Pulls apart in your hand. It has no structural integrity at all. It's quite incredible. We'll get all this cleaned up and we should be good to go. You know, it's interesting, the plywood doesn't smell bad at all. I would have expected it to be kind of smell like old farts. Maybe it's because they used a good plywood. Mahogany. So I guess the mahogany's not rotting, just the glue has failed. And with that, I think it's time for the demo drill. So good balsa. That's like wet. Look at that. Well, there you go. There was balsa in this core after all. Mushy, wet balsa. And just like Bob Perry warned me in a previous chat, the peel strength of that stuff can be incredibly high even when it's wet. So that was interesting. Now, if you haven't seen my video chat with Bob, we are doing some occasional meetings where we talk boats and refit strategies and other fun stuff. And the first one we did is right here, linked to that. And stick around, we've got more of those coming up really soon. If you enjoyed the video today, I would love it if you would give me a like on that guy, because that really helps the channel out, and I really appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to get caught up on all of the events of the refit of Antidote, your playlist is right here. And if you'd like to subscribe for more of this content, and I would love to have you around, we release new videos every 2 weeks on Saturdays. There's your subscribe button. Really, thanks a lot for coming by today. See you in the next one. The first place that I replaced, well, that kind of rhymed. Mush. If I didn't know this was balsa, I'd be pretty grossed out right now.